Hi, I'm Zach Thompson and this is the video submission for my game design optimization. This is my endless runner ride. Here's the main menu. I'm going to input a seed, we'll say 203. Quick loading screen.
I tried.
So in this game you play as a car. You have to pick up various items such as cash, fuel, you have to avoid mud, pick up extra lives. You're also avoiding police cars that come at you and that helicopter that you just saw. There's a police car now. I'll simulate it for a second so that you can see everything going. Oh, hang on, simulating the wrong level. So as you can see, there is no spawning of items, no new tiles being made. Things simply move from point A here to point B here. You follow this police car, and it moves back to point A when it's done. I'll see if I can capture the full thing for you. So watch this top car. It goes from A to B, straight back to A. So nothing is spawned, nothing's deleted, it's all there as soon as the game loads. When the game loads, a seed is created here, and in the main menu, a seed can be set by the player using the input box that I used. In the car blueprint, on start, the save game is found, and that gets you the high score for the coins and the high score for the distance. The loading screen is played, and then the platform name is found, so whether that be Windows, Android or iOS. If it's Android or iOS, it plays this top widget, this top heads-up display, or if it's PC, it plays the bottom heads-up display. The only difference between these, obviously other than the widget themselves, is if it plays the PC one, it sets the input mode to game and UI and shows the mouse cursor. It also plays the drain fuel event, which I'll get back to. After it is set the hood, it detaches the lane components on the car so that they have a set world position rather than being moved with the car. It also sets the car's current lane to 1 and the current lives to 3. Back to this drain fuel function. So up here, fuel is set to 100, it drains 1 every second. If fuel reaches 0, the car crashes. The car also crashes if the lives reach 0. This car crash event comes up a few times, and rather than check it every tick, every time the car crashes, it just checks if the lives are 0 through an observer. The event dispatcher down here, check lives, and if it is 0, it crashes. The crash function is just a series of move tos, flip book changes, and sound effects that simulate a car being crashed. I believe I can show it off in here. I set to L, so L, yeah, crashes like that. I think that covers everything in the car. Let me double check. The pause game, is similar to the hood, where it checks the platform name and either sets the PC hood or the mobile hood. To move, cars are set on, not cars, the lanes are set on an enum, so you got lane 1, 2, 1 forward, 2 forward. These are set positions on the map, they got detached at the start. To move lanes, each input on, I think it's the arrow, or WASD, sorry, all follow actions. This system checks whether you can actually move in that distance, and if you can, it triggers it. This is, rather than just being set to left put action does it, it's set to its own custom event, and that comes up again in the mobile hood. Moving on to items now. All items are collected through the seed between an integer of 1 and 12 switched on int. This system looks messy, but it provides a weighted integer system. All items are the same in how they function until they are picked up. So for an example here on the coins, they move from point A to point B as you saw before. And that is the same in, say, fuel, point A to point B, exactly the same system. Except when it's picked up, a life will add 1 life to your bar up to a maximum of 3. And invisibility is, it's set to invisible, and then after delay set visible again to give the illusion of it being picked up. I might be able to show that off after this. Fuel adds 25 fuel up to a maximum of 25. If you collide with mud, it triggers the crash event, and if you collide with coins, it adds 1 coin to your total, as well as adding that total to the high score if it is exceeded the current high score set in the main, or set on the scoreboard, sorry. The police car works similar to this as well, where you know the float is set between 5 and 25 seconds. That's just when the car will appear. Moves to from point A to point B and then back to point A. If it collides with the player, it crashes. It also crashes the police car, which is just an explosion. This police crash also collides with the bomb that the helicopter drops. The helicopter moves between lanes 1 and the backwards lane and the forwards lane. So here would be forward, or here would be the normal lane, and here is the forward lane. It moves randomly on an int controlled by the seed between those, and returns back to its position. Dropping a bomb when it reaches the position. The difference between the various hoods now, this is the regular hood for PC, and this is the mobile hood. The mobile hood's difference is obviously being the buttons that you can interact with, and rather than a pause button, there is a big X at the top that you can press to pause the game. These buttons, as I said before, work with the movement events. So the left input action left, if we go back to mobile, it's this input action here. So you can just press the buttons to move through. Let me see if I can quickly set this up. So event graph, and I'll manually set the hood to be the mobile hood. Might take a second to save. And you can see here that the buttons work as intended. You can jump. You can't obviously move out of the bounds that you've been set. The pause menu difference being, this is the PC one. Hold on, I accidentally didn't have that open. On the mobile, text is bigger, big pink cross, sorry. The seed is printed as a text here so that the player can see what seed they're on. On death, the cash that the player has collected throughout this run is printed, as well as the highest score of cash from the save game. The distance that they went is dropped, and the high score is also printed. To get these values for the distance, it's every 0.25 seconds it updates and adds 1 to the current distance timer, which up here, as you can see, it updates and gives a rough estimate of how far the player has travelled. If I die here, I can give you an example of, so I collected 1 cash this run, the high score was 13, the final distance was 0, that might be broken right now, and the distance high score was 291. Yeah, I definitely unplugged something wrong there. The other considerations that I made for mobile outside of UI is the fact that everything is sprite based rather than having 3D assets, and obviously this parallax background provides the illusion of movement rather than actually having to move anything within the game. I think that covers pretty much everything that I could have covered. Thank you for watching. Goodbye.